Speaking about comebacks, there was a special lady once who hasn't been replying to my Instagram comments. I'd appreciate it, Kim K, if you could just reach back out to me.
Now let's get lively. Gather round, let's sort the buyers from the spies, the needy from the greedy, and those who trust me from those who don't. Eddie Murphy! Fuck you!
Get the fuck out of here! Man, you fight with nobody.
Best of all time, and before time was even created.
Follow me, Hunt. I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Oh, don't be scared, homie.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Grab his dick and twist it.
Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude.
You twist that dick.
Twist this dude.
Tradies and gentlewomen, it is indeed time for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching along at home. This is the Eggplant Tornado podcast, the fight podcast for the common man. Coming at you live out of our homes again. One of us has come down with a little bit of the vid, so coming in over Zoom. But with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, the Griff. How you feeling today, bud?
Better, but still pretty terrible. But you know, we're getting
Been in
there.
the fucking wars lately, haven't you? A fucking spider bite and then a bit of COVID. Fucking.
Send it at me. Send it at me. Is that all you got? Piss week.
That's it. That won't be enough to take him down.
Never.
And rounding out the trio is the a being made of pure logic and the prediction wizard himself, Froomy. How you doing, buddy?
Mate, how are you, Ned?
Yeah, I'm not bad at all, man. I'd probably be a whole lot better if people would get on the YouTube and click subscribe. Not only YouTube, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and any of your audio streaming needs.
Oh, it'd
At
be
Eggplant Tornado Podcast.
great, really, wouldn't it? It'd be
We
fucking
all
top
would
tier.
definitely feel that bit better, especially Griff.
Oh,
Well,
that-
speaking of Griff, what have we got in store for the people here this week?
I do have that right here, actually, Ned. We're gonna start off with a little Belieb it or not, you know, little staple of the pod. Fury versus Chisora 3 breakdown, and we're gonna dive a little bit into did Fury rob Chisora of a cheeseburger after the fight? Maybe. Chocolatito versus Estrada 3 breakdown. Holland v Wonderboy breakdown. UFC
Fuck, that was a good fight, man.
That was a fucking top tier fight. UFC 282 preview. Lopez versus Martin preview. Crawford versus Adesanya's Aldi twin preview. And we're gonna just end it off with a little That Stands My Bernie.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to roll into a bit of Believe It or Not here then, and a little bit shorter today because we've got a whole bunch of other stuff to cover. But let's start off with Henry Cejudo confirms his UFC title fight with Aljamain Sterling.
You go, Griff.
Fuck everything about it. Oh, how about you fucking do some fucking fights and earn it, you fucking little midget.
Yeah,
I
that'd
hate
probably be, the right thing to do on his end.
He's gonna look so small in there next to fucking Aljo, bro. He's a massive 135 or whatever the fuck they are.
He is a big boy.
Fucking, like, I reckon Cejudo's gonna look tiny compared to Aljo, man.
I reckon Cejudo looks tiny next to a midget, so fuck that guy. I hope he loses, and I hope he loses by, I don't know, something savage. Something brutal.
Big toe kick, because that's all he'll need to kick him with.
Just a little toe kick.
That's
Just a toe stomp, bro.
I mean,
Get him out.
it's going to be like a semi-interesting fight because they're both grapplers. And, Cejudo being an Olympic, he's an Olympic wrestling,
Yeah.
like gold medalist or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was fighting in the children division though, so I don't know how much it counts, but he was fighting kids.
You must be this high to actually compete as a man.
Yeah, and he was like,
No. Just go fight some 14-year-olds.
Yeah, he couldn't fucking make it. So yeah, he just fought some fucking 12-year-olds, and he came out clutch, came out with a win.
Especially if he like didn't have muscle mass he sort of has now. He could have been fucking wrestling at like fucking 50 kilo.
Yeah, it would have been
You talking about Sterling or Cejudo?
Cejudo, like before because he's a little bit like stocky in that now since he's like I don't know what he looked like before, but I'm just saying like what would he have been like if like was he built the same way or was he like a bit more trim? Because if so, he would have been like fucking 50 kilo,
I mean, yeah.
which means
Probably.
which means he would have been tossing around people that are like nearly midgets.
Legit.
Yeah, that's true. Like if he like maintained some of his strength while not actually, having that level of muscle.
Yeah, he could have fucking weighed fuck knows what. He would have been light as.
But those fucking like high school wrestling programs in America are absolutely fucking crazy. So it's
Yeah,
not
they are.
like not even to say that he probably like he might have just looked like that since fucking high school. Because they go through like full on weight cuts and rigorous training and shit like that.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like I don't that's what I'm saying. I don't know what he was built like before. Like he could have always been like that, but like even like growing up, he wouldn't have had much fucking muscle. He would have been throwing around fucking kids.
Speaking of growing up, Henry, fucking grow up,
Dude.
you little midget.
Referred one of our earlier shorts, and if I can get a couple more inches off the ground.
Get some
Someone
fucking,
further.
Um,
like, get some. What are them fucking shoes? That make you taller. Get some of them. You fuck.
Platforms.
They're the ones. Get some.
Alrighty.
Partially in like the mall with a set of them rollies on.
Yeah. Where's he going? Scoots on by.
Oh Jesus. I haven't segmented all my news this week, so it's going to be a bit fucking here, there, and everywhere. So Ryan Garcia tweeted during the week that if the Gervonta Davis fight can't be made because of the obvious implications that Tank might go to jail for a fucking year, reckons he wants to fight Lopez at super lightweight.
Say what I reckon.
Yeah.
Jail fight. Stop being bitches. Get locked up, Ryan.
Like that Vince Vaughn movie.
Yeah, I want to see some fucking jail fights, bro. Fucking bare knuckle. No,
Oh my god.
I'm all for it.
But yeah, what do you reckon about that fight for him?
Well, it has to be up at like 140 because there's no way Teofimo's making that weight cut again.
Well, Teofimo said he's not making it again, and then I was also under the impression that, all right, Jeffy. Teofimo's not going to make the weight again, and I was also under the impression that Garcia said after like one of his last fights that if he's not going to be fighting anybody like Tank or like for a title of 135, then he can't make the weight cut either, because he's pretty big.
Yeah, he could make the weight cut for a bit longer though. Like
Yeah, probably.
There are other options.
Garcia.
Yeah, like if he moves up, there's you've got Teofimo, Josh Taylor. Is Regis Prograis there?
Yep.
Like you've got like them three where like lightweight's stacked as fuck. Like there are so many other options on the table that he could go for. Like what? Because you can't get the bloke that snatched your chain, you're gonna run.
He wants his chain back, bro. Fucking
Like
gone, homie. Just gone.
But then if he
wants that shit,
if he wants his chain back, he's gonna have to make a weight cut once fucking Tank gets out of jail. Like it's pointless. What, you're gonna go up to chase one fight with Teofimo who doesn't even have a belt?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just like the
Like,
grudge match aspect of it because there was so much talk between them when Teo was at 135.
Yeah, but he's got beef with Haney too.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like,
everyone's
go
got
sort.
Look at the lips on him.
But I don't think many of them are going to be like Tank's probably the only one that can actually float around at the weight because he's not that tall. Not many of them are going to be able to make the weight for long. Like Haney, probably not. Like Shakur's going to be there for a little while because he was making 130 comfortably for that bit, but he's going to get bigger too.
Yeah, like Haney, I think Haney will stay there for as long as he can and try like sort of to defend them belts against the top blokes, and then probably move up and just take them all out and take all the belts again.
But my point is, like, he may have looked sharper in the last Kambosos fight, obviously due to fucking Kambosos trying to switch stances and then not throwing a punch. But if you looked at Haney on the scales, he looked even worse the second time than he did the first time. Like, he looked fucked.
Yeah,
He
didn't
did.
look good. He looked pretty fucking drawn out.
I do agree. He did look fucked, but like I feel like he will keep making that weight for as long as he can.
Yeah,
At what weight does he fight at? Like kilos?
Oh, it's
I'm not sure what it'd be. Oh, hang on, no, because 135 is what I'm at, so it's about 61. About 61 kilos.
I reckon if he like got a lip reduction, he'd probably make that weight for another couple of years.
Why didn't I expect that it was going right there? Like, just all the intention of making this serious point, and then just get him on botched. He's just been botched since birth.
Crazy. Fucking,
Oh man, what doctor did that to you? Just like, oh, it was my parents.
yeah,
me dad.
Oh.
chalked him. Had a fucking blowout.
Fucking hell. Alrighty. Moving on. Tyson Fury has declared that he will fight Joe Joyce in February 2023 if a fight against Alexander Usyk doesn't materialize. But if anybody saw the look that was in Usyk's eyes on the weekend, he wants to murder Fury.
At first, I'm going to be completely honest, I thought Fury was for some reason yelling at Eminem in the crowd. Just like the hat that he was wearing and shit. It looked like Eminem. I'm like, why is he yelling at Eminem? I'm like, oh, he kind of looked like Eminem though. Like, he had like the fucking hat on. I seen him rapping at one point in the crowd.
Oh man, but it was like,
I didn't hear what he said though. What did he say?
who? Fury.
Yeah.
Oh, he just said it, like he was literally just screaming into the microphone. Like Usyk went and got up like on the apron, but didn't come through the ropes. And Fury just like was standing in front of him in the microphone, just going like, "Pussy, Dasa, gonna fuck do this, gonna do that." And Usyk just stood there, and it's like, at any point has it gone through Fury's head that it's like, this man has most likely killed people in the last 12 months. Like, do you not understand that? There's a different level of, it's a different mental place that you have to go to be able to box for a heavyweight title and then defend your fucking home country against people trying to take it from you.
Yeah.
Like, he's different now. And more to the point, he's just got fucking gears. Like, I showed you, but I'm sure you've seen it as well for him. There's footage from the corner in the last AJ fight. I think it's end of the 9th going into the 10th. He says to his trainer, "Can I start now?"
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can just keep changing them levels too. Like I don't think Fury can really hurt him after like seeing with Chisora on the weekend.
No.
Like Usyk can take a shot. He rolls with a lot of shots too.
Yeah.
Like we'll probably get into that a little bit more when we speak about the breakdown. But yeah, Chisora's tough, but Fury definitely should have been able to put him out.
Oh yeah, for sure. It should have been that fight should have been over way earlier.
I didn't even watch it.
And even if it was like a tactic of Fury like taking it easy to try and like lull Usyk into some false sense of security, that's not gonna work. Like Usyk's smarter than you.
After the
Like
fight,
in every sense of the word.
I've seen like a interview with Usyk after the fight, and I'm like, "What did you think of Fury's performance?" It was like a good sparring.
Sorry.
Like, he was like, "I'm fucking." They go to Usyk, "What did you think of like Fury's performance?" He goes, "Oh yeah, good sparring."
Good sparring.
Very
That's so like it's so disrespectful, but the thing is like he doesn't even like mean it to be disrespectful probably. He was just like probably trying to think of words.
Yeah, like
Good there, sparring. Yes. Very feel.
like he said it in like Ukrainian because he had his like translator there.
Oh, okay.
Like that's all that was like all he said about it. It was like a good sparring.
Yeah, well, if that fight materializes, like from what I've seen out of Usyk the last couple of fights and what I've seen out of Fury the last couple of fights, it's not to say that Fury doesn't have a chance, but Usyk's gonna work him out if he hasn't already worked him out and box circles around him.
For sure.
And then
for sure.
everyone finally gets to shut up about like, oh, he's the fucking greatest. Like, he moves like a middleweight and he fucking does this. Yeah, well, great. So this is somebody who's actually come from middleweight and is, can move like a fucking middleweight and is going to fucking show you what it's actually like.
Yeah, well, I don't see Fury outbox him at all.
No.
Like
Thoughts, Griff?
Um, I don't know. I'm pretty fucking over listening about Tyson Fury, to be fair. I hope Usyk goes in there and twists his dick right off.
Well, that's sort of my thinking behind it as well. Like, yeah, I don't know. We'll get more into it in the breakdown anyway. We've got a couple more things to move into. Did you guys hear about this? Who is this? James Krause guy,
Yeah,
trainer in the UFC.
I don't know what's happened exactly, but I've read a bit into it. I reckon it might have something to do with like betting on fights potentially.
Right. Well, yeah, it's
Seen something and it was like some article about some betting shit. And then anyone that fights under him is not allowed in the UFC anymore. So it's something big.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So like anybody who like wants to be cornered by him or is still coached by him in any sense, or you can't even train with this dude and still fight for the UFC.
Yeah, it's
Like that's
crazy.
how much they don't want to borrow this gun. Did you hear about this room?
Nah,
Not at all.
nah, not a thing.
I reckon he should start his own fight league, fill it with drugs and fucking just crooked betting.
Probably half the reason.
I reckon it's got
Well-
something to do with like crooked betting. Or I don't know if that's also the dude that says some racist shit in the corner recently. I don't think it was.
Cool. I mean, that could also be it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's if he did do that, maybe that's something that made people look into him a bit more and then realize like, oh, this guy's running a betting scheme.
He's only just like new to coaching. Like he hasn't been doing.
Yeah,
it.
I've never really heard of him before.
Yeah, he used to fight for the UFC.
Did he?
Maybe like
Well,
only a couple of years ago. I don't think he was that great though.
okay. Yeah, well, yeah, once again, like I haven't heard from him or of him.
Fucking well
So.
trade over there for him.
Oh, fucking
Explode.
It's fucking.
That's so good. That's what you get. That's what we get when we're doing it from home. You get the real experience.
You get the
Well, you mentioned drugs there, and it made me want to bring up this point. I don't know whether you guys saw this. Khabib didn't enjoy spending time with Mike Tyson, and this was his quote. I didn't like his look. We were on his ranch. I told him right away to get rid of all the things like smoke on the table. All in all, I didn't like being there. I liked more the way Cristiano Ronaldo looked. He looks like an athlete, not Mike Tyson.
Hey Khabib. Hey Khabib. Shut up.
Because Mike Tyson isn't an athlete.
Exactly. Like Mike Tyson is 56 years old.
Cristiano
Tired.
Ronaldo is still playing soccer at the highest level. Like,
Yeah.
there's a complete difference there.
Wait, what's that
Ronaldo
other guy's name?
spends-
Ronaldo. Suck my nuts.
Ronaldo spends some ridiculous amount of money per year on like maintaining his body and has some like he sleeps like he doesn't sleep like 8 hours or some shit like a normal person. He sleeps in like 2-hour like bursts or some shit a couple of times a day.
Is he
Like
a little,
absolute like
is he a little pretty boy soccer player with like a little stud earring? Ronaldo? Is that it?
well, he's not little, but I believe he does have a stud earring, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah, like exactly the point that Froomey made. Like Ronaldo's like at the like pinnacle of his career. Mike Tyson is 56 and retired, and Mike Tyson still does look like a fucking athlete.
And Mike Tyson would fucking kill that fucking Ronaldo dude. So good on him. Have drugs around. What? He'd just have bags of weed and shit. It's not like fucking Mike Tyson's out there and mushrooms. It's not like he's out there doing fucking heroin and shit. Calm down, Khabib.
But more to the point, what right does Khabib think that he has to come to another country and then come into somebody's home and tell him to move all this shit off the table because it's disrespectful to me?
Fucking Allah Akbar.
It's fucking pretty interesting take, and nobody is happy about it. Literally everyone, like every comment is just like, even people that are like, oh, I like Khabib, but that's a real shitty take. Like you don't go into somebody else's home and say like, oh, you need to get rid of this shit because I don't like it.
Especially like Tyson
Especially
probably had
Mike.
them there for something too. It's not like Tyson was just like.
Oh, they
chilling
were there
with
for
people.
like an interview.
Oh, like he's on the
He's-
podcast though.
His podcast is called Hot Boxing.
Yeah, I think Khabib just needs to calm down.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, yeah, you might be able to like get on Mike Tyson's back, but I don't care how proficient of a wrestler you are, jiu-jitsu, anything like that. I don't care if you got a gun pointed at his face, man. There's not really a time that you shouldn't be afraid of Mike Tyson.
This man bit another man's ear
Yeah,
live on main event. He gives a fuck about what you
I thought
think
about that the
about
other
him
week,
having
man.
weed around, bro. Mike Tyson doesn't give half a fuck. Doesn't he run his own weed farm?
Yeah, that's where like Tyson Ranch. That's where he does his podcast out of, Colorado.
Fuck off. Go back to wrestling fucking bears or something,
All right, well, let's do this one more because it seems like Zoom's going to cut us off. So
bro. Doing it already?
we'll quickly pause and restart.
Does it say it on your screen? Does it say it on mine?
Yeah. I'll just check your messages. I sent you something about it. Conor McGregor lashes out at Artem Lobov over lawsuit. I'm challenging you to a fight tonight.
Agree with me. Just wrote a message.
No, like so fucking hard. So fucking hard.
What'd you say now?
I said Conor McGregor lashes out at Artem Lobov over the lawsuit that's being leveled at him. And he says, I'm challenging you to a fight tonight. And I'm like, I'm not going to go through the article, but I do remember vaguely reading another one that was just a tweet from Conor McGregor saying, like, you're a fucking bitch for suing me. I'm going to be here tonight. Come here and fight me.
I don't know. I seen a thing from the bloke who runs the PFL or whatever it is, or the bare knuckle fucking boxing. He's like, hey, if you two want to fight, I've got a show on next weekend, like in London. I'd love to just put you as the main event, like pay-per-view. Like it's already sold out, but pay-per-views would go through the roof.
That's gangster.
Fuck me, man. Do they have drug testing in that fucking bare knuckle fight club?
I think so.
I'm not sure. And he's like, yeah, what? He was like, oh, like instead of seeing you both get arrested for like fighting on the street, why don't you just come like sort it out like on my thing?
Can you imagine that? That would be like the most watched event of all time. No one gives a fuck about Artem Lobov, but everybody would want to see
Exactly.
Conor McGregor just absolutely shredded on roids, bare knuckling somebody.
I think Conor's got beef with Dennis as well, so fuck, you might as well just two birds with one stone, bro.
Oh my
Get him
god,
on,
man!
Get him juice.
I have beef with Dennis now purely since you made it a Twitter. We don't even follow him, and literally every single time I open the Twitter, it's just Dylan Dennis said some other fuckwit thing that confirms he's an absolute fuckwit.
Well, I think that only happens because anytime I actually open Twitter, I go to his page and just comment on whatever he has at the time. I think
I do that too.
one of my last ones was him just put up a nice video of something, and I just wrote, "Your bitch made." Nothing.
That's right, I read that.
It was just
Actually, no, I replied to the same post as
one
well.
video that's just nothing, like just like a nice video, nothing to do with fighting. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck him in his personal life.
Yeah.
Love him. Make it a post.
What?
Um,
You just say to me?
I said he's
What?
just making a post about anything, and Griff is just fucking tearing him up.
Oh, bro, fuck that guy and his shitty haircut.
I'd like to bring this thing up. I don't know if you guys saw it. Alistair Overeem tests positive for banned substance at Glory Collision 4.
Oh, what a fucking surprise.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, wow, Alistair Overeem tests positive. Can't believe that.
That dude
Last
that,
person on roids.
that dude came out as a fucking worm, fucking juice. Talking about
100%. Doctors just injected the umbilical cord.
Mama
Oh,
Overeem was just taking everything.
Dr. Juice.
Like, bro, you've seen videos of him, like, back in the day in fucking Glory.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like the fucking Liver King.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jack.
Just yeah, it's his own just Jack. Which he was 100%. He's also been on like the receiving end of some of the worst fucking hits of all time. Hey,
I reckon that, and probably like knowing where he's from, probably some of the worst blowjobs ever.
what?
What are we talking about?
I'm definitely gonna need more context off air for that one. Jesus, that was intense. All right, let's move on to one more interesting story here, and then we'll roll into our breakdowns and stuff for the weekend because I thought this was pretty fucking cool. PFL offers a Rolls Royce on top of the $3 million payday for Chris Cyborg to fight Kayla Harrison.
I don't know who Kayla Harrison is, but do they both?
She's like that. She was the. I don't know what weight they fight at. What weight is that in women's? Like, what does a Nunes fight at? Like
145,
I think. Okay, so it's like a
145 and 135, I think.
So it's like a feather and a bantam kind of thing. Yeah, so I think that's around what this Kayla Harrison girl is. She's like a featherweight or maybe even a middleweight. No, not a middleweight, a lightweight.
Do they both get cars?
I'm not sure. Let me just roll into the actual article here.
Just give one to Cyborg.
Yeah, just not the other chick. Like, yeah, you got to fight this monster and you get shit.
Okay, there you go. This is Don Davis, the owner of the PFL or whatever. It says offer stands at Kayla H versus at Chris Cyborg, $1 million each fighter plus $2 million to the winner. Additional tip in quotes, winner choice Rolls Royce. As in, like, they're not just gonna buy a car and then give it to you if you win. Like, you full get to pick which one you want.
PFL coming through class.
Yeah,
that's fucking sick.
How do they have so much money?
Blackjack and hookers.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, it's legit, bro. Trust me.
Like, I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, I've never heard of him before, and then all of a sudden, yeah, he just comes out of nowhere, just offering these ridiculous purses and shit.
Love it.
Like, I seen something. Who's
I'll
that?
I'll fight her for $3 million in a fucking Rolls Royce.
There was an Australian guy.
Hey, so who do I want this bitch?
Dude, I will fucking. He wouldn't be able to handle it, bro. He'd be fucking on a little leg.
There was an Australian guy who won like the heavyweight like PFL title or Grand Prix or whatever the fuck it is. It was the same event like last week or whenever it was. Rob
Wilkinson?
Harrison or some shit, like just some real common fucking name.
I think it's
But yeah, that guy. He was in the UFC and he fought like once or twice in the UFC, got like fuck all pay, and then just won $1 million for winning the heavyweight title in the PFL.
I think he got beat by
Adesanya.
Yeah, in either Adesanya's debut or second fight.
Debut.
And then the UFC fucking gave him the boot.
Now he's a champ with $1 million in the bank. Boy, get off him.
It's not to say that he's like made more money than somebody like Adesanya, but he's definitely made more money than probably a lot of the people that Adesanya's given an ass whipping to at the top of that division.
I tell you who has made a lot more money than Ned. The Eggplant Tornado podcast. You can fucking find us on Instagram, Twitter, fucking TikTok. We're everywhere. Fucking Spotify, Apple, we're everywhere. Like, share, subscribe, download, do whatever you got to do on that platform. Gang.
I like it.
Fury versus Chisora 3. Before we get into the breakdown of the fight, I want to get into the breakdown of post-fight. Fury robbing a black man of his burgers. Not just one burger, multiple burgers. He took a burger for his son. Fucking, it's outrageous, bro. If I was Chisora, I'd be probably taking the burger thievery to the I don't know what they have, bro. The council. I don't know. What do they have? Take it to the cops? I guess you take it to the cops, bro, because he was robbed.
Jesus Christ.
Go halves in a burger with your kid, man. Fucking take two
Well,
burgers, bro.
I mean,
like, Chisora's just lost out on a fucking payday because you kicked his ass. Fucking the last thing he could afford is like, oh, I can afford a 5 fucking pack of burgers. Fucking Fury comes in, takes 2 of them. Now fucking 2 of fucking Chisora's kids can't eat, bro.
Legitimately stealing the food from their mouths.
Right, yeah, in more ways than one. Like at first,
Bad
he
man.
beats the shit out of him. You know, probably not going to get any fucking extra pay there. And then like, oh, what's that? Your last burgers? Yeah, me and my boy are gonna come have one. We're gonna awkwardly cheer burgers. Who the fuck cheers a fucking hamburger?
Yeah, it's fucking, that was real strange. But
I did like
you
it.
said robbed a lot, and it kind of fits perfectly with the whole theme of the fight. We, like, anybody that paid for that shit was robbed of a fucking good experience.
I didn't even watch it. I haven't even watched the highlights yet. I just watched
I
the robbery, and that was enough for me.
I found a stream somewhere on my phone, started watching, I think around the 5th round or something like that, and it was literally just the same for however long it went on. I think it stopped in the 11th.
Yeah, the first 4 rounds before that were worse. Like Fury should have ended him so much earlier.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Like Fury, yeah, literally could have just pulled the trigger and ended it if he wanted to, but he just didn't. For some fucking reason. I'm not exactly sure why.
Scared, bro. Fucking yeah, I don't. Like I said, I didn't watch the fight, but I seen enough after the fight to know my thoughts on the whole matter. Fury showed a different side of himself. Like it was weird. Like you said, Nat, he was like being a douche to Usyk after the fight. Maybe you said it for him. I don't know. But then, yeah, like shows his true colors, then goes in the back and tries to be like a mad cunt and steal burgers.
Yeah, just like basically went over to say thanks Chisora for being a punching bag for the 3rd time.
Was it a good fight or not?
No, it was terrible.
Shit.
What about the undercard?
It was a real fucking... Fury just danced around the ring and just fucking beat this cunt up for 11 rounds, when realistically he probably could have had him out of there in 6 or 7. And then even more realistically, his fucking corner should have pulled him out around the end of the 9th. Like, he'd just taken so much fucking damage, was just stumbling around the ring, had nothing in his fucking punches. The ref came over, I think it was the end of the 10th. That's right. The ref came over and started talking, like went to say something to the trainers. Like, you could see Chisora's like on the stool, like bleeding out of pretty much every hole in his face, and then some other ones that Fury had made.
Do you reckon he was bleeding out of his butthole?
Wouldn't be fucking surprised, man. And then his trainer, Don Charles, who I like posted a video about instantly on fucking YouTube. If anybody wants to go and see my, like, you know, a little bit of a fucking thoughts on it, turns straight around to the ref and just goes, no, we're good. And it's like, well, you're not. You're fucking lying. And it's like, if this cunt's not sitting on the stool telling you he's good, why do you have any right to say it?
Yeah, if he looks fucked, just pull him out. He's nearly fucking at the end of his career anyway.
There's no duty of care whatsoever there as a trainer. And the ref, admittedly, should have just stepped in and not let him come out for the 11th round. And he stopped it midway through the 11th or something. Like, and you could tell, like, it wasn't even like a hard exchange or anything like that. Fury landed like half a punch, and the ref was just like, "No, I'm not watching this anymore."
You could see Chisora looked like a broken man in the back. Fully let a white man come take 2 of his burgers. But he
Like, it was
a
just...
completely fucking just dismantled man.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he was, and he was allowed to be by his fucking stupid trainers. I was listening to the commentary, and whoever was in the, like, on the table was talking to that Mark Kriegel dude who was obviously down at ringside, and his name like popped up because he was saying something, and they're like, "Oh, what did you say, Mark?" And he said, "I went over to the corner of Chisora and went to ask, like, oh, do you guys think..." He said, "I went over to the corner of Chisora and asked him, do you guys think that maybe you should stop the fight? Like, he doesn't look very good in there." He said, "None of them even looked at me." It's fucking ridiculous, man. I don't know where... And, like, we're going to get into it again, like, later on. Admittedly, you know, that fighter won.
But who'd you say that? Said that? The ref?
No. So... whoever was like the commentator that was like down at ringside, or like walking around at ringside, as opposed to the people that actually just sort of sit there and watch and like commentate the fight. That Mark Kriegel dude, they asked him, or he asked Chisora's corner, like, "Do you guys think you should stop the fight?" And they wouldn't even look at him, didn't acknowledge that he said anything.
Fucking yeah.
So yeah, like if you're, you probably won't see it, but if you scroll on YouTube, Don Charles, and you fucking see this, quit, give up, stop. You don't deserve to be a fucking trainer, especially at a world level, if that's what you're going to allow somebody. It doesn't matter that it's Chisora, and yeah, he does take beatings, and he like wants to go out in his sword and one of potentially his last fights. There's also the point of like, this guy's not going to be able to talk in 20 years, and that's going to be your fault because you didn't have the fucking duty of care to pull him out 2 rounds earlier.
That's
Go.
What were you saying, Fred?
oh fuck. No, well, that's just on the trainer, really. Like, he should know to pull him out. Like, but like in saying that as well, the ref could have just waved it off at any point.
Yeah, he probably should have thrown the towel in from what you guys are saying.
Like, I
Yeah.
didn't the end. I don't think I didn't watch like the last 2 or 3 rounds or something like that because I was sick of watching it.
Well, yeah,
But
I didn't have
they-
anything better to do, so I just sat around and
thought-
watched it while I was there.
I thought they could have pulled him out like by the end of like by the 8th.
Yeah.
Like he was after the first 4, he was already fucked. Like Fury had already rocked him a few times in the first few rounds and just hadn't like put him away like he should have.
Yeah, 100%.
Shit show at that.
So it was pretty terrible.
Like I said, boys, I didn't watch the fight. I just watched the complete robbery after the fight. It was just fucking disgrace.
Alrighty, well, I mean, we're going to move on to something earlier on in the card a bit later on in our final segment, but let's move on to Chocolatito Estrada 3. Did you guys watch that?
I watched bits and pieces.
What did you think?
Yeah, from my understanding, I don't know either of the guys' names. Well, like I know the names, but I don't know who's who. One of them like started pretty slow, but then
Chocolatito.
then kind of picked up later, but maybe left it too long.
Yeah, it was a very it was very similar to the Triple G Canelo trilogy that happened a little bit earlier on in the year. Like,
Yeah, like the Lopez fucking who's a little fucking ninja.
oh,
When was-
Lopez and Loma, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, same thing as that. Like he just Chocolatito, like sort of was getting the better of the exchanges towards the end, but just took that little bit too long to get going.
I mean,
Yeah,
can't be doing that. And it's fucking fight, mate. Fucking get
No,
it
you
on.
can't be. Did you catch the fight for it?
Get on your horse, mate.
I only seen the first like few rounds of it, but like Chocolatito started slow, and then it like I read after it, like as you said, he like sort of come on late. But like as I said, I don't know if you remember like when we spoke about it, I don't know, last week or maybe the week before or something. Like, I don't know if Chocolatito is just getting that bit old now.
Yeah, I think that kind of answers your question.
Like you're just taking that little bit. Like he won his last fight against I can't even remember who it was, but it was a good opponent.
Yeah, it was.
And like it's the game where you like any form of fight game, I suppose you can get old overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when you've got somebody like Estrada in their prime too.
Yeah, exactly. And then Chocolatito is what 37,
He's getting, I think he's 40 to be honest.
40. Well, there you go. He's fucking really getting on.
Yeah, he's definitely
Yeah.
getting to the later part of his fucking career.
And he's had like 50 something, well, nearly like 60 pro fights kind of thing. So he's been through it.
Yeah, and now like Estrada's sort of, I suppose, more seasoned.
Yeah.
Like he's more prepared for them sort of like fights with more experienced people now, especially being there twice with Chocolatito.
I almost wouldn't be surprised to see, because we've got something quickly to talk about that I haven't put on the notes, but I will bring up. In a way, fights at 118, but I believe he's fighting for undisputed next Tuesday. It's always Tuesday because it's in Japan or something like that.
Konnichiwa.
He's fighting a dude called Paul Butler, but yeah, that's for the undisputed I'm not exactly sure what the name of that division is, but I know he fights at 118 pounds as opposed to Estrada and Chocolatito, who fight at 122. But
Yeah.
Inoue's been talking about making the move.
I think that's like bantamweight or something like that.
No, I think it's flyweight because Estrada and Chocolatito was super flyweight.
Right.
I think bantam's below that. For some reason, boxing and UFC are all fucking different.
What was Estrada in that at?
122.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Inoue's 118. So he's been talking about going up to that division. So it'd be interesting to see somebody with like the technical skill and the power of Inoue fight somebody with the like just the craftiness of the vet in Chocolatito. Oh, we're going traveling.
You're on the
Where are we
move.
going?
Huh?
We're on the move. Just forgot the charger again.
Yeah, that's where we're going to. Fuck, it's not.
Get a little charger action going.
Yeah, good charge up.
I'm gonna lie, boys. That's fucking awesome.
Hey.
Hey, Matt.
It is a fucking
She
warm
said,
day.
hey.
Oh, hey. Hello.
Alrighty, but yeah, so that's happening next Tuesday, which, like I said, I forgot to put into the notes. But yeah, it was exactly. I don't think there's much more that can be said about that fight. It really sort of put a stamp on the trilogy. Estrada was just did enough in those earlier rounds, and then did enough throughout the fight to be able to keep him off. He's having real good success with like this left hook, like body, then throwing an upstairs combo in the earlier rounds, which he seemed to stop and then went back to in the very late rounds. So I almost think that was the difference. But I did a live stream for it by myself, and I made the point of Estrada was throwing a lot of wasted sort of shots in the first couple of rounds, which ended up coming into play because Chocolatito came on strong in those mid ones. But yeah, I've said it sort of puts a stamp on the trilogy.
Yeah, I watched little bits and pieces. Looked like a fun fight, I guess.
Oh, well, speaking of fun fights, why don't we move on to Wonderboy versus Holland?
Wow, what a fun fight it was.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
Holland got a bit of a hand injury, apparently early. He reckons he had it early in the fight, but
I read a quote before this that said it was in the first round.
I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure it was like you could see the spinning kick that like breaks his wrist because he like has his hand up like that, and then it like just crumbles.
It was these three metatarsals here, so like the bones in the top of your hand.
Yeah, right.
Those three there, so he's gonna have to have surgery. Kind of the same thing that you had for him.
Yeah.
Done a bloody mischief on himself, he did, mate.
Hey.
But other than that,
But fuck,
he's still fraud.
What a fun fight while it lasted, though.
Yeah, he stopped throwing it sort of in third, I think it was.
Yeah, because you see Thompson land like a spinning kick, and it like just crumbles fucking Holland's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like just kind of had that like one hand guard up, and then you just see it, like crumble his fucking hand. Fucking Thompson, man, that karate too good.
So sharp, still at 38.
Bro, so fast, man. Like fucking ridiculous.
And he's like equally as fast from both sides, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Way better with his feet than he is with his hands.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
That's
Do
like
you see
that
that's
weird karate style, like the weird like rush in, throw straight punches, but their kicks are
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal.
And the way he fights too, like but it'd be hard to get a read on him because he's like up and down, in and out, like constantly, like moving.
Bouncing.
Yeah, moving to the side. His head movements up and down. His footwork's in and out, side to side. Like he's so like unpredictable to tell where the kick's about to come from.
Exactly. It's like it's not a traditional like somebody just sort of like leans to one side and shifts their weight kind of thing. So you know, like, oh, he's gonna try and kick me in this side. Like Thompson will sort of be bouncing back and forth, and then all of a sudden just fucking spinning mule kick to the head. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, how do you predict that?
Yeah, exactly. And he's been like doing karate since he was
15 or something. Stupid.
like so young. Now he's like, Like he's like nearly 40. He's been doing karate like nearly like as long as I've been alive, as long as we've all been alive. Probably if not longer, depends on what age you got into it at.
Mm-hmm.
So like then he gets in there with someone like Holland. I suppose that's why like Holland just didn't know what the fuck to do for half of that fight. Like with where them kicks were coming from. He was getting caught with the kicks, and then it was opening up the hands for Wonderboy. Like it showed like I suppose the difference between someone who's been fighting a lifetime and someone who just picked up the gloves and that out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a striking mismatch, but I don't think like anyone's gonna go in there with Wonderboy, maybe except for like Pereira and Adesanya, and like outstrike him.
Yeah, exactly. And then the only person that was able to sort of keep him at bay was like I suppose Woodley, but like he was scared, I suppose, of that power that like Woodley carries in one Woodley did carry back then in one shot.
Yeah, and the wrestling, like Woodley had like the real threat of like wrestling as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like Holland's just coming to like fight you.
Yeah, well, he got him down a few times and just got back up. So.
Yeah, there was one point in the fight I seen it was like I don't even know how to explain what happened, but they both went to attack each other. I don't know if one of them went to kick and the other one went to punch or what, but like they both like Holland ended up like sort of tripping onto him and they both landed on the ground.
Yeah.
And Holland he just got straight back up. He's like, nah, fucking stand up. But there was so much respect between them two as well though.
Yeah, which was fun because they've both been in like wrestling matches the last couple of fights. So being both strikers, they wanted to like put on show, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
like,
sorry.
no, you're right.
Well, it's also a point that I made during the live stream. It's like because you could see, I think it was like did Holland retire at the end of the fourth?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was during that fourth round and he was really fucked. Like you could see Wonderboy like even having the look in his eyes of like, man, I don't want to keep kicking you. Like I really wish that you would just fucking just lay down and fucking stop.
Well, apparently he kept like saying sorry afterwards and shit.
Oh yeah, you like after a while you could tell that he was just sick of hurting him. But my point was like, if it was somebody you hated, that'd be so easy.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah, but if it's like a nice guy, it sucks.
With the respect between them.
There's one point in the third, maybe where there was like that low shot and like I think Wonderboy thought it was the hand and he just like backed away.
Yeah.
And,
that's right. Yeah, I do remember that.
Like seemed like it had been called off.
Yeah, I totally thought it had been called off. I was like, oh well, it's over. And then they're like, no, it's time out. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah, like Wonderboy probably felt bad at that point.
Yeah.
But still kept kicking his face apart.
Yeah, well, I would have not given a fuck after that. Like, I just tried to give you the way out that you like seemed like you wanted. Like, you could have just been like, "Oh, fuck me hand." No, I'm not. I'm fucked.
Holland just too tough for his own good, really.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, but his corner as well. Like it was fucked by the end of the third because he went and sat down and you could sit like when he walked back to the corner, you could see him like wince and like shake his hand, sorta.
Yeah.
And they still let him come back out.
Yeah, he was complaining about it. Yeah, like a full round, and then he wouldn't do fuck all with it. Then he started striking with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I was the coaches, I would have pulled him out at the end of the third.
Yeah, he's only young. Like, I want to give him the rest of his career to fucking actually have a hand to fight with.
Like he's probably going to need surgery on that hand now, and like if you hit someone too many times with a fucked hand, your hand's gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Well, it's exactly what happened in the fights last weekend. Zach Parker and John Ryder. Zach Parker retired in the fourth, and he literally said that during the week. He was like, look, I could have kept going on with the fight, but it could have cost me my career. He's like, there's no point in doing that when I can just go and get the surgery, recover in a couple of months, and just get back at it instead of potentially fucking my hand for life.
Exactly. Like this could be the difference between needing surgery and not needing surgery. Like, and then like if you start to like after you throw it for so long as well, you hear fighters saying like their whole arm, like up to their elbows, like numb. Like what good is that to you while you're in a fight anyway?
Yeah,
pointless.
Fuck no.
Like, especially you're headlining, but you're headlining a fight night. Like it's not for a title. Like this is different. It's not that. It's not that fucking GSP moment in the corner where he's like, "Oh, I've pulled my groin," and his coach is like, "I don't care, George."
Yeah,
you seen that?
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
funny shit.
There's nothing big on the line, like what your payday, but you've showed up, you've got in the ring, you've had the fight, bro. You're getting paid.
Those
Payday.
3 rounds, like they got fight of the night, but those first 3 rounds definitely are the thing that qualified them. That fourth round was just not Holland, fucking Wonderboy just teeing off whenever the fuck he wanted to.
It was brutal, eh?
Yeah, it really was. Like I said, Holland just way too tough for his own good, but it was a fucking great fight while it lasted. Karate versus Kung Fu is fucking amazing to watch.
Can we talk about fucking Holland's haircut?
Yeah, what the fuck was going on there?
I don't know. It was beautiful though.
It was pretty funny.
It was I didn't expect
One
it.
side of it had a like when it was like on the side that had like the bit braided. And
Yeah.
you look like he had a mohawk, and then just like cut to a different angle, and it's just like all fuzzy.
Yeah, yeah. What
Yeah,
the
it was
fuck?
an afro and braids. It was so fucking good.
Um,
And then yeah, he comes out at the start of the third and looks straight at Wonderboy and just goes, "Slow down."
yeah, just consistently telling him to slow down. Eh? That was gold.
Or he went back to his corner, I think, after the first round and said he was kind of like, "Fuck, man, this old guy's really fast."
Yeah. I just want to give a special shout out to Donald Trump, the man, the myth, the absolute wall building legend. Shout out to your hat, Tommy. That's about the only good thing you're on. Marley?
They definitely look better in black.
Yeah, you don't want a red hat, bro. Who the fuck wants to wear a red hat?
UFC 282.
I don't know the full card. I know that's
I've got it in
fucking.
front of me.
That's a little man versus fucking Islam, isn't it?
No. Okay, hang on. Let's go through it from top to bottom. We got Bryce Mitchell fighting Ilia Topuria. Or Topuria, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Bryce Mitchell's got real good wrestling.
He does, but I also watched Ilia Topuria put somebody in a different fucking universe the other day in some highlight, so Bryce Mitchell's probably not going to want to keep his face in front of him, that's for sure.
I want to see Bryce Mitchell and Joe Rogan. That's what I want to see. That's a real fight.
Oh, the flat Earth debate.
Yeah, I want to see.
that'd
I want to see
be
his
great.
arguments.
I don't. I think everybody's going to lose brain cells from that. We got Darren Till featuring on the card against I can't Drick.
Drick. I've never heard of Triple Drick.
More fire.
Fuck, it's hot in this fucking kind of a room. tell you that.
Dresius Duplessis.
I mean, fuck,
Dresius Duplessis.
fuck that guy and his name. I hope he loses by knockout.
Yeah, I already hate him purely because of how hard it was for me to fucking figure out his name. So Till all the way. Focus on these top two fights a bit more, but coming up next, we have Robbie Lawler versus Santiago Ponzinibbio.
I mean,
This should be Lawler's last fight, but
I
fucking
felt
get him,
dangerously
Lawler.
close.
yeah, he's got to be coming. He's been fighting for a long ass time,
Get
man.
him, Lawler.
I'd love to see Robbie finish on a high note. That'd be beautiful. I mean, like, he hasn't gone too bad. It's not like he's getting sparked out every fight, but
There's been some retirements this year, hasn't there? So to be
Yeah.
fitting the theme.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he should hang him up. I think
Right,
Robbie,
he's 29 and 16.
if he gets beat, he should hang him up.
You heard it
Yeah.
here first, ladies and gentlemen. Robbie Lawler. Just give up, mate.
Like, he's got all his respect, bro. He doesn't need to do no more.
Yeah, it's just a fucking common theme. It's I don't know. I don't know. So maybe it breeds more of an interesting conversation that we can have when we don't have some fights coming up. But like, I was listening to Sean O'Malley on Rogan this morning, and they were talking about they were talking about Cejudo coming back. They're like, how old is he?
Natty.
Like 30, what?
Speaking about comebacks. There was a special lady once who hasn't been replying to my my Instagram comments. I'd appreciate it, Kim K, if you could just reach back out to me. Yeah, I do believe there was a moment in a video that she started.
Please, Kim K, come back with a response.
Yeah, Kim K, if you could just come back with a response about whether the cum actually landed on your back or not. That'd be fucking ideal. But yeah. I'm pretty sure a bit of it would have splashed up onto her back at some point.
Oh, fuck.
Or maybe she even like just rolled over afterwards and a bit of it like was still on the mattress and landed on her back or something. I don't know if she could just reach out and confirm with us. Yeah. It's got to be one of the best comeback stories of all time, really.
Right, you're going too long for me to cut this into a short. Let me move on. It's far too much content here. We got Paddy Pimblett fighting Jared Gordon. I still don't know who Jared Gordon is. Do you guys?
I think he's related to that chef guy, isn't he?
Gordon Ramsay.
Nah, yeah, different last name. I don't
Fucking hilarious.
I don't know who he is either, to be honest. But I feel like Paddy's kind of taken that route up. Like he's not just taking fucking crazy fights. He's just. I seen some article and he was saying like, I know my worth and they're not paying me my worth, so I'm just gonna fight until they do. Like he's just gonna fight.
You brought the point up to me, kind of thing. When they fought at UFC London the first time, somebody was asking him like, "Oh man, like how's it gonna feel to like walking out here like to a fucking sold out stadium?" He's like, "Man, I've sold this stadium out 3 times, headlining for a different fucking promotion.
Yeah,
like, not gonna feel any different to me."
Dude, yeah, the cards for Cage Warriors, like they used to put on a mad show in London for him. But yeah, like he's like star worth is heaps bigger than what the UFC's given him pay wise, but he's also not taking big fights, so it's like a bit of
he's being smart about it. And more to the like somebody like Sean O'Malley was kind of sort of like thrust into that position. Like you're not gonna if Dana calls you and says, "Oh, you're ranked 13, but you're gonna fight the number 2 contender." Potentially take his spot. You're not going to turn around and say, "Oh, nah, I don't really want to," because that's just going to, reflect poorly on you.
Yeah. Well, apparently the UFC finds him hard to book because of his weight issues. Like, because he's always like bouncing between weights and shit. They like find him hard to book in because you're like, fuck, you got to give him this period of time and do this and do that. And
yeah, I do remember Dana mentioning that. Like, he's kind of like, you can't just have him come in short notice because he blows up fucking 50 pounds heavier in between fights.
Hey, Dana, here's a fucking idea. Just because you got skinnier, don't be a fucking fat shaming bald-headed fuck. You fucking dog.
Oh, fuck me.
I mean, true. Like,
great.
Dana used to be fat as fuck, and now what? Because he loses some fucking kilos, he's like, oh, fuck. Hard to book because he's fat. Shut up.
Right, he literally looked like he was on the roids and that. Like, he full turned to a meathead.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck Dana White.
Fucking Dana, he looked like he didn't have a neck.
Tell you what I want to see. Dana White, Eddie Hearn, 10 rounds, boxing. Because
Eddie can crack.
Dana comes from like a boxing background. He was gonna box Tito Ortiz like years ago. Who we've seen Tito Ortiz box Anderson Silva. Wasn't too nice to watch, but
no, not at all.
But I reckon Dana probably would have beat him. But I want to see Dana v Eddie. Winner takes all.
All the fighters.
Everything.
To their respective sports.
Right, just fucking takes all the contracts. Because either one of them, you could see either one of them running both business as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a real money fight.
All right. Well, let's move on to the main event here, which, like we mentioned last week, was supposed to be Prochaska versus Teixeira, but has now changed to Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev.
Oh yeah, that's this card.
Yes.
Hopefully Jan takes the belt home. I feel like
it'd be good to see.
I feel like he got gypped. Like he was like a long reigning champion. Not long, but he like defended the belt a few times, and then he loses it. Yeah, he's got that fucking Polish power, boy. Get off him, fucking hell.
I don't know much about this other guy.
Nah, there's not much to know, Natty.
I'm assuming it's all wrestling with their Griff.
Sorry? I don't.
Assuming it's all wrestling, or
I don't know. I don't even know who he is, to be honest. For him, never heard of him.
He looks like a
Ankalaev's 30,
maybe then.
And he's got a tiny bit of a height advantage, but Blachowicz has an 8-centimeter reach of it. Oh no, wait, I read that wrong. Oh no, I read that right. 190 for Ankalaev and 198 for Blachowicz. That's a decent reach advantage.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I don't know if this guy's a wrestler or a striker or
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I've never really heard of him before.
No, I haven't either. But I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to see fucking old Yanni boy.
Oh, okay. Hang on. There's a couple of his like record here. So he beat Thiago Santos and Anthony Smith in his last 2 fights.
How did he beat him?
He beat Santos by decision, and he knocked out Anthony Smith in round 2.
Interesting.
Is there anything else there on like his previous fights? Like, does he?
Give me 2 seconds. Oh, hang on. 2021. Here we go. So he fought Volkan. He fought Ozdemir.
Yeah,
to
he's
decision.
not bad.
He beat Nikita Krylov.
That sounds like a made up person. They're just making up stats now.
Like, did it seem like he wins by sub at all, or?
No, all of his fights are by TKO and stuff. Every fight that's not a decision is TKO.
Okay.
So he seems to be a striker, which is going to be interesting.
Either that or he's got good ground and pound.
He's a southpaw too.
Interesting. I just hope Jan gets his belt back, and then we get to see Jan versus that other guy too, Glover, Teixeira.
Yambos. Yeah, that's right. Because it will be Teixeira who gets the next shot.
Or Jan versus Yuri's fun too. That's a fun fight.
Yuri won't be back for like a year or something though. He really fucked his shoulder up.
Yeah, but like, you know, after Jan has the fight, him and fucking old mate have their rematch. If Jan holds on to the belt through that, he could go fight Yuri, which would be a fun fight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, that's plenty of time to like kill 12 months.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's a pretty fun card, eh? But moving on.
It definitely is.
To a different card in it, we got Lopez versus Martin. Is that Teofimo?
It is Teofimo.
What do you
like
reckon?
I explained last week, or it took me a while to figure out, but so he's fighting the dude who not retired, but like unexpectedly beat Mikey Garcia in his last fight.
That's outrageous. How?
All right, so this is like Haney versus Cambosis.
Sorry, again.
This is like a Haney versus Cambosis concept.
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you mean? Is it a black dude versus a white dude?
No, you got the underdog who wasn't meant to win a fight against somebody, like they weren't rated at all.
Who's the underdog?
Sandor Martin.
Cambosis beat Teofimo. This Martin bloke beat
Mikey Garcia.
Garcia like he wasn't supposed to, and now he's just getting fed to fucking Teofimo.
Yeah, but it could end up biting him.
It could, but I don't see
Yeah.
Teofimo taking a fight at that point, like at that weight class that he knows he can lose at this point.
Yeah, not coming off like losing your belts and shit. You think you'd want to build yourself back up?
Well, he's
Especially
won
the way
at that weight.
What was that? Sorry.
He's won a fight at that weight. I can't remember who it was against, but he won by like 8-round knockout or something like that.
Yeah.
So this bloke's got half an aim for beating Garcia.
Yeah.
So if he beats him, it looks good on his part.
Yeah, it gives him a bit of credit.
Yeah.
And then probably go after somebody else, and then look for a title shot.
Well, there's talk between him and Regis Prograis. That would be a real good fight, and that's that's one of those things. It's like, well, Prograis is now the WBC champion because Taylor had to drop it, so that's what he picked up last weekend when he won.
Oh, right.
Like, I'm not sure if there's a mandatory in place for it yet or anything like that. And I'm pretty sure that's why Taylor dropped it, because it was a mandatory. So therefore, that mandatory has been filled. So Prograis could pretty much fight whoever he wants for probably about a 9-month period.
Right.
You would assume.
I think so. I feel like Teofimo probably should take one more.
Before Prograis?
Yeah, after this one. Like, let his body, like, adapt to the weight properly.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and actually be strong at that weight.
But that's an absolutely stacked... Oh, sorry. An absolutely stacked... What? Where the fuck did he go?
The moon.
What's happening?
I think it's scientifically proven.
I am God.
I'm everywhere. You don't have to worry about that.
It's like the last scene of that fucking what's that movie where I can't remember her name. Scarlett Johansson, she has all like that weird like drug. She's like being used as a drug mule, and it like explodes in her stomach, and then all of a sudden her like brain starts expanding, and then she just becomes one with the universe.
That's mad. That's ideal, really.
Oh fucking hell! Well on your way, but there's a huge undercard for that, but I think it's probably best talked about after the fact. Like, there's, a bunch of stuff that we can preview, but it's like sort of named opponents fighting against no named opponents. So we'll just see how they perform and then talk about that next Monday. But we got Terence Crawford back in action this weekend against David Avenesyan.
Crawford's the older one out of them other dudes? Benson Crawford?
Yes, so Crawford's 35 at this point.
Okay. So yeah, that fight's pretty much just fucking dead and buried, eh? Crawford versus Spence.
So.
Well, I feel like this other dude, what's his name? Evanescence. I'm gonna go with Evanescence.
Yeah, well, they're gonna need to bring him to life after Crawford's done with him on the weekend.
Bring me. That's a fucking. They got that one tune, eh?
Yeah, that's basically about it.
Yeah, other than that, it's probably going to be like this other guy's fucking career. It's fucking one and done after fucking Crawford. Get off him.
Well, I think Froome actually knows something about him, so what do you reckon?
Well, Crawford should win. Like, Avenesyan's beat, like, Josh Kelly.
Yeah, so he's beat no one. He's a fucking washed up bum and his career hasn't even started. Get him out of here.
Last weekend or something, I believe, but yeah. Yeah, so
that
semi-decent competition, but...
Yeah, and like the biggest name was like Shane Mosley, but that cunt's like fucking 100.
Yeah. Yeah, being a past his prime, Shane Mosley is not the same as in his, like, admittedly, maybe a tiny bit getting over the hill, but probably still dead set in the middle of his prime Crawford.
That was like, there was a part of my head that was like thinking you were going to say like a Middle Eastern Crawford. I was like, alright, bro, fucking hell. But I do agree. I do agree with what you said there, Ned.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he beats Crawford. Like, he was being like spoken about as fighting Conor Benn, like not long ago.
Okay.
So, like, I don't know. I suppose like he was, and then I suppose if Ben beat him, he would have went on to a world title or something. But like, so he's like stepping stone, sort of. I guess he's at that point where if he beats someone, he will get a crack at a title. But I don't see him beating. Well, he's getting a crack at the title now, I suppose.
Yeah.
How does Crawford hold belts?
WBO.
Yeah, but I don't see him like doing anything really to trouble Crawford. Like Crawford in 9 or less for sure.
Yeah,
they figure him out and then start to pummel him, and then he just put him away.
Yep, that's how he works.
So we've got a fucking pretty stacked card on this weekend, though.
Yeah, the undercard for Lopez versus Martin is absolutely fucking like stacked, and then we got one more fight quickly to mention. We got Warrington versus Lopez, which has Ebony Bridges versus Shannon O'Connell as the co-main.
Is this weekend like that Keyshawn Davis and that, or whatever his name?
Yeah, this weekend's fucking ridiculously stacked, man. We've got like 3. So Top Rank have 2 events on. They've got Mick Conlon fighting early in the morning, and then they've got that Lopez event later on in the afternoon. Warrington and Lopez again, of course. So we'll say Teofimo versus fucking whoever in the afternoon, and then Warrington versus Lopez is, I think that's in the UK, so it'll probably be sometime in the morning with Bridges versus O'Connell on the undercard, or is the co-main.
Yeah, right.
But there's a full, so that event's interesting. That will start and then stop because England are playing somebody, France or some shit in the soccer.
Oh yes, yeah, they will be.
So they're stopping the event so that the game can be played and then continuing it after that. So the last 3 fights will be on after the soccer during that event.
That's pretty dope that they're like smart enough to be like, oh, okay, like we're gonna lose viewers through here, so let's just pause it.
Yeah, like the majority of England will just like stop everything they're doing to watch that game.
Yeah, they're like fucking diehard fucking football fans.
Yeah, they love it.
Hug
Well,
him.
it's a DAZN promoted event too, so yeah, Eddie probably doesn't want to fucking sit there and look at fights while while England's playing.
Yeah, he'd be looking at his phone in between.
Yeah,
Eddie
exactly.
Eddie should be fucking training for the upcoming fight he's got against Dana White.
We're gonna make it happen.
Jade up, lads.
That leads us into our fucking little favourite segment here. That's really sands my Bernie. You guys obviously didn't watch the Fury fight, and I didn't watch any of the undercard, but did anybody see what happened with Daniel Dubois' fight?
I heard plenty about it today.
I didn't.
You can't watch this and tell me the boxing isn't corrupt. Alright, so this is what happened, Griff. Dubois gets knocked down 3 times in the first round, is blatantly concussed. So once again, this is not only an issue of like boxing potentially being corrupt, this is an issue of, once again, trainers not having their duty of care.
I want to look into that fight too and see what the rules were for it. Like, was there a 3 knockdown rule?
Obviously not, because he got knocked down 3 times in the first round and the ref didn't call it off. So there was no 3 knockdown rule.
But like it adds more to the point of like, was there corruption involved? Like, was there meant to be a 3 knockdown rule in it after like how sus the whole fight was?
Well, I assume that would have been mentioned in the article that I read, but the ref stopped the first round 12 seconds early. So before like they even did that thing where they clap the sticks together to signify 10 seconds, the ref called the fucking first round.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then Dubois comes back in round 3 and knocks this guy out. Retains his version of the WBA title that he has.
There's a bit of fuckery aboard.
A whole bunch of it. Not a bit of fuckery, man. There's a whole bunch of it.
Like, and I heard it was like weird too. Like the other bloke, like he's fighting for I think it's a WBO regular world title or whatever it is, and like he's knocked Dubois down like once or twice or whatever, and then just like it didn't seem like he wanted to go for the finish. Like after the first round, like they went to the corners or whatever, then come back out, and he didn't even seem like he still like wanted to go for the finish or whatever. And then next thing you know, Dubois catches him with the left, hurts him, and then just jumps all over him and like finishes him off. It was weird as fuck.
Payday. What a payday.
On payday.
You want a
Just trying to read something
payday.
here. Okay, all right. So it says that the WBA have a 3 knockdown rule that's in effect in all their fights, but the British Boxing Board of Control does not permit the rule in fights under their auspices, allowing Dubois to launch his spirited comeback.
Speaking about
So it's a technicality.
Speaking
that
about
he was.
comebacks, Nettie.
No, we're not doing this again.
She did.
We're not doing this again.
She did get a little bit on her back. Can confirm.
We've already got
I'm not
one.
doing this again.
Doesn't count. Because I wasn't trying to not say it, because I knew I'd already said it. You don't get that one, it doesn't score.
Nothing but net,
No
bro.
compilation for you.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Kobe, fucking nothing but net. Nothing but fucking net, boy. Wait.
Maybe I'm gonna have to add another K to that.
Fucking whatever I just threw the fucking chopper and brought it down. That's fucking red hot.
Kim K compilation Kobe crashes, but crashes is spelled with a K as well.
That's red hot, bro. He's a beloved sports hero.
Fuck me dead. Anyway, so that's how he gets off on a technicality through it. But it makes no sense that the ref stopped the round 10 seconds early.
Yeah, it
How
doesn't
is
make
that
any
anything
sense.
but corruption?
Yeah, but how
Or
don't
not.
people
I
pick
don't
up on that shit? Like people.
Because there was 10 seconds left on the clock and the ref stopped the round and just sent them back to their corners.
Yeah, but why doesn't someone be like, "Hey, the fuck"?
Well, literally every comment you see online was like, hey, what the fuck? But nobody there said anything, apparently.
That's weirdo. Surely it's gonna get looked into, right?
You would assume so. They just gave Jeff Fennick a title from retroactively from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So you can't look into something that happened on the weekend that's blatantly fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's weird, eh? And then the box is like, "Whoa, we got such a bad name." Oh.
Yeah. Why is everybody watching the UFC?
Oh, nice set up.
I don't know, maybe because Dana pays the best doctors of all time.
Fury was about to smash Chisora. Dubai was like the other bloke was paid not to beat him. By the sound of it. And yeah, fuck Frank Warren.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, he's been involved in a whole bunch of shit lately. Fuck you, Frank.
Fuck you, Frankie boy.
Fuck you, Frank.
There's only one good Frank that I know, and it's Franklin boy. He's been enjoying.
I've seen him in a couple of weeks. He's not there on Thursdays, and we haven't been in the last 2 Mondays. So
no. So he's popped in a couple
say what
times.
up.
He's
Say what
popped in
up
a
to the
few
man
times.
behind the boards there.
Last time I seen him, I coughed on him a few times, so he's fucking 100% got COVID.
Probably.
But that's just to keep him here and keep him honest, you know. You've got to keep him busy, keep him fucking doing what he does best, which is
chained to that table.
I don't even know what he does, to be honest, but it's good.
And you got to make sure he uses his sickies when he's sick. So
that's what I thought. Like, he did ask for a bit of a sickie, and I was like, you don't look real sick. Give me a minute, dear.
I thought you out with a real one.
I coughed on him a few times, and I said, come back and ask me about that in 3 days. Yeah. He asked me, and he sounded pretty sick, so I gave him the day off. But,
what a nice guy.
Oh.
Before you roll through where everybody can find us, Griff, I'm just going to make a little bit of a side note here. You know, don't have all the support that we potentially could, so no money rolling in. Couldn't afford to pay the old Buzzsprout account this week, so there will be no audio until Friday or something like that.
You know what?
We'll upload both of the episodes, but if you want to get at us, you're going to have to get at us on YouTube.
Let me just take over here for a minute, Ned. I'm not going to get too into it because I'm probably going to get pretty fucking fired up, but I will say this. You'd be fucking lucky if you get fucking audio ever again. You fucking useless cunts. But to the few of our friends that are supporting, the very fucking few, thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, love your work, bro. Fucking, I don't know what they're paying you, but it's not fucking enough. I'll tell you that much.
They know who they are.
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook.
All of them.
All of the shit. You probably can't find us on Apple or Spotify this week.
Oh, you can still find us, but there just won't be any new episodes until Friday.
Yeah, you can still find us, but don't go looking because you're not going to fucking like what you find, all right? Yeah. Don't you get your dicks in a twist, boy. Oh.